Kerri Wise, Director of Research and Analysis for J.D. Power and Associates, reports that studies show buyers are backing off practical reasons for choosing a vehicle and getting passionate about fun to drive and styling.
As you know, the loyalty study looks at why consumers are drawn back to the same brand again. Why are they loyal to the same brand? And what we're seeing in 2010 is a shift in why people are drawn back to the brand. Last year, it was more practical reasons like resale value. And given the economic times, I think that made sense. But now we're seeing consumers kind of back off of those practical reasons and go into more of the appealing attributes of a vehicle, like fun to drive and styling. And those are the things that are really drawing consumers back to a vehicle. Well, I think fun to drive is definitely the largest gap that we're seeing from year to year. People are being driven by fun to drive, but along with fun to drive is really tied to a couple different things. Styling is certainly part of that. Performance can be part of that as well. I think consumers now want to be excited and passionate about their vehicle. They don't want to just buy a vehicle based on cost or based on some of these more practical reasons. They want to have that excitement and be drawn to a brand. And so that's really what we're seeing, is that the brands that are doing well in terms of our study are drawing people in terms of these passionate consumers that want to go on and buy the vehicle over again. Well, I think it's all about the details, and I think from a dealer standpoint, in terms of the presentation of the vehicle, some of those technologies, some of those features are really what can differentiate one vehicle from another. And I think from a dealer standpoint, it's important into that presentation is to point out some of those items and features of the vehicle that really differentiate that vehicle from other competitors. I think in terms of the presentation in this study, what's important for dealers is to kind of understand what are the objections that consumers have in purchasing a vehicle and making sure to hit those different topics when it comes to delivery of the vehicle or when it comes to the presentation of the vehicle. I think that's what's going to help a dealer close a customer in the end. I mean, I think the only thing I can add is, I think in terms of the test drive, I mentioned the presentation. I mean, the test drive is a critical aspect of the presentation. One, getting that person in the vehicle, critical. And two, just during that test drive, when I talk about fun to drive, I mean, that's the perfect opportunity to show that customer the fun to drive. The performance aspects of the vehicles, the different driving dynamics of the vehicle. So in addition to not only the features of the vehicle, but actually showing that customer how fun it is really to drive that vehicle. And the test drive, I think, is the best opportunity to present that to a customer. We have seen that not all dealers are necessarily putting a customer in a vehicle from a test drive standpoint, but it's critical that a customer test drives a vehicle, because we have seen even on other studies that when a customer test drives a vehicle, oftentimes their perception of the vehicle improves in so many different aspects. So it's critical to get them into the vehicle from a test drive standpoint, but then during that test drive, the quality of that test drive and pointing out, as I mentioned, the features, options, and also pointing out what differentiates that vehicle from other competitors is going to be important to closing that sale.